And welcome back to another episode of the one and only, your favorite movie podcast. This is another episode of Reboot with your co-host Jordan Bell and David Grunfeld. David, my guy, how you doing? How you doing, Playboy?
Ooh, that intro got me fired up. I'm dancing over here. I'm feeling great for another episode of Reboot. Welcome back. If you're returning, welcome. If it's your first time to Reboot, we are so blessed.
Cooking
Jordan.
with gas today, baby.
I mean, goodness gracious, are we blessed to have I'm going to just speak for you, one of our favorite people in the entire world. Janna May is in the freaking building today.
Shouts out to the Woo.
Janna is out here. Janna, how are you? Thank you so much for being here. What's good?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm feeling stoked. I couldn't be more excited to be back with you two, you little goons. So I am so excited to be in the building. Thanks for having me.
Oh God, it's our pleasure. We've had a few Worcester reunions from our old college days. And this is another one of the absolute best. And you not only are just a lovely friend in person, but you came with some heat when it came to recommending what we should do for our reboot. You went immediately to the Disney original movie kind of lane, which led us to our episode today, which is the one and only Brink. And absolutely, yeah. Oh, dude, come on. Iconic stuff for anyone who's our age who grew up with access to Disney Channel. Great movie. So Jordan and I are going to be rebooting Brink. Janna is going to be a big, fancy movie executive, and she is going to critique and then ultimately judge and pick which of our ideas is best to reboot. So with that, Jordan, before I kick it to you for a quick elevator pitch on your idea, anything you wanna butter up Janna with before we get going here?
You know, I'm gonna go off kilter here, and I'm not gonna butter up the judge, but I am gonna say, I know I usually butter him up pretty good.
Yeah.
I am gonna say that this is my favorite Disney Channel original movie for sure. All right, rewatching this one, bro, and I think I texted both of you this. The heartstrings, dog, they tug on them a little bit. This is a friendship movie. This is a father-son movie. This is a teenage maturation movie. There's so many different themes in this movie. And there's also some stuff. It's always fun going back and rewatching these because there's always a few things that I just didn't catch as a kid, obviously, because I was a kid. But I remember, like, there are a couple scenes rewatching this one where, like, it's a little bit of a gut punch, like remembering some of those emotions as a kid and, you know, the theme of friendship and all that stuff. So I'm pumped for this one. This one's fun. This is a great movie.
Absolutely. Great movie, great suggestion. I think there's there's definitely a case to be made. It's the best Disney Channel original, which was some strong contenders. There were some
100%.
hits from this era. So with that, Janna, unless you have any questions or anything you want to hit before we start, Jordan can take us in with his elevator pitch.
All right, I'm gonna kick us off. So for Brink, I decided to go with a sequel, and the title of my sequel, Brink 2, Big City, Bigger Dreams. So here's my elevator pitch. Welcome back to the world of Andy Brinker and his skate crew that stole all of our hearts in the 1998 Disney classic, Brink. Almost 30 years later, Brink has traded in his skates for New York City and the bachelor lifestyle. Brink is ready to sail off into retirement when a major surprise turns his life upside down. Brink 2, Big City, Bigger Dreams takes you on a journey like you've never seen before. Follow the gang as they help Brink navigate the new joys in his life.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay. I like it. Big jump ahead. I like it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, on that, I am also going to be rebooting with a sequel to Brink. Mine is going to be called Brink 2 also, but it's going to be Brink 2 Soul Over Goals. We're going to jump ahead, but not quite as far as Jordan is. We're going to jump ahead like 7 to 10 years. kind of mid 2000s, early aughts, mid 2000s, and riding that timeline and that kind of boom of the X Games and extreme sports in our universe, in our Brink universe, inline skating is a big fucking deal. Okay. And Andy Brinker is also a big deal. He is a star in the booming and emerging inline skating world as a professional. And being a professional, he has maintained his Soul Skater crew as a part of his squad, but they're now dealing with professional type issues like an overbearing agent, greedy sponsors, the corporate nasty world, and of course, we got to have Val back in the mix. Val is also a rival professional skater in this emerging alternative world, and we're gonna have some classic Brink Val rivalry as Brink's team and Val's team compete against each other and the temptations of this new world that they find themselves in, culminating in a big showdown where we find out if grassroots skating or corporate greed is the ultimate victor.
Mm.
Mm.
We got a lot going on here.
I like it.
There's a lot of inline skating to be done.
I love it. I love it.
With that, Jordan, take us into Big City, Bigger Dreams. Do I have that right?
Yes, correct. Brink 2, Big City, Bigger Dreams. All right.
Lay it on us, big dog.
So Act 1, we're going to start with a little summary of where the characters are now. Okay, so the gang from the original movie stayed friends throughout high school. Brink went on to become one of the top skaters in the country and had an amazing career as an X Games athlete. He skated professionally until his mid-30s when he hurt his knee a week before what was going to be his farewell tour. After he retired, he moved to New York, where he now sponsors his own junior X Game team. I bet you can guess what the name of them is going to be: the Soul Skaters. After high school, Gabby and her family moved to New York also. She eventually came out to her family and friends, and she and her wife, Christina, now reside in New York City with their daughter, Bree. Peter and Jordy went to UCLA, where they were roommates together, and after college, the two of them took over Pupp N Suds and turned it into one of the biggest pet grooming companies in the country. Both guys have settled down and are now married with kids out on the West Coast. So the movie begins with Brink sitting in a big-time downtown office in New York City with the Soul Skaters logo painted on the wall behind him. So we get a sense that Brink has accomplished everything that he's wanted to get out of skating. Now he's the head of the largest junior skating team on the East Coast. But Brink's one true vice is women. He's earned a reputation as one of New York City's top Playboy bachelors. As Brink is finishing up his day at the office, he gets a FaceTime call from the one and only Gabby, who is calling to confirm that Brink and her are going to meet for dinner. Now, meanwhile, on the West Coast, Peter and Jordy are finishing up a day at work, getting ready to take both their families up the coast to their beach house when they get a call from Gabby. The three of them joke and laugh and catch up briefly and promise that they will take time out of their busy schedules to get together either in LA or New York. With Brink and Gabby being on the East Coast and Peter and Jordy being on the West Coast, they don't get to see each other that often anymore, but they stay in touch. Brink goes out to dinner that night with Gabby and her family and then heads out for a night on the town with some of New York City's finest models. We then find him the next morning in bed with a beautiful woman. Brink quietly sneaks out of the bedroom downstairs, and as he exits the room, Bryant, Brink's butler, enters the room with a good old-fashioned gift basket for his house guests, a la Derek Jeter. Now, this is kind of part of the routine for Brink. He brings a lovely woman home. They have a great night. Then once he leaves, his butler comes in, gives her a gift basket, and she's kind of on her way. Now, after the house guest leaves, Brink gets a call from his agent, who urges him to get dressed and meet them in the city for breakfast because he's got a big opportunity for Brink. So when Brink arrives at breakfast, his agent tells him that Netflix has decided that they are going to host the first ever Netflix Games tournament back in New York City. And not only do they want Brink to participate, but they want this to serve as Brink's farewell tour that he did not get to participate in because he hurt his knee right before he retired. And on top of that, they're going to pay him $1 million. Brink obviously agrees to do the event, which is set to take place at the end of the summer plenty of time for him to get back into shape. So Brink sets up a Zoom call with the old gang, tells them the good news, and the gang decides that Jordy and Peter are going to fly out to New York at the end of the summer to get back together and watch Brink escape one last time. The next morning, Brink is woken up by a knock on his door by the one and only Bryant, telling him that he needs to come downstairs immediately. There's someone that is there to see him. End Act 1.
Cliffhanger. What's going on? What's going on down there?
There's
right.
some
I like it.
suspense. There's some mystery going on.
There's some suspense. There's some mystery. I love it. All right, cool. Well, we're going to shift gears over to Brink 2 Soul Over Gold. And I'll invite you back into the world where inline skating and extreme sports are just popping, right? And Brink is an up-and-coming star, people's champ. He's got that smile. He's got the Soul Skaters. That's his crew. They're competing in street events. They're doing the like early aughts, like grainy footage, you know, in like a mall after school type stuff. You know, they're building the cred up. You know, they're becoming fan favorites in the scene. And part of that is doing what we see in the beginning of the movie is them doing these like sessions with kids like from around the LA, Southern California area, where it's like there's no cameras, they're not doing this for money. They just love skating and they want to pass it on to the next, you know, generation of kids. So it's like from the very beginning in this opening montage where we're kind of getting reintroduced to the gang, we're seeing that like a focus on the community is very important to them. So once we kind of establish that, we kind of move into the world of Brink as a professional skater, and we meet Rick Dalton. And Rick Dalton is like the sleaziest, double thumbs down. He's like the sleaziest agent guy you've ever met. He's all about the brand. He's all about the corporate sponsorship. He's helped Brink, you know, establish himself as a professional. He's good at his job, but you know, we just kind of get a wrong kind of vibe for him. And the biggest problem with Rick is that he wants Brink to kind of play it safe. He wants him to do corporate approved kind of runs and tricks and things that are going to be safe because they know that he can land them, but are never going to really push the envelope in the way that Brink wants to and is kind of known for doing. So we kind of see that established in that relationship where, you know, Brink wants to push it. Rick's already starting to kind of pull the reins back on him. And the way that Rick kind of gets under his skin is he brings up our favorite rival from the original movie, Val, ice cold Val, who is also a star. Yeah, I mean, heartthrob. You hate him, you know, it's one way or the other with Val, maybe a little bit of both for some people. Val is also a star, okay, in this extreme sports skating world, but he's a star for I did do a little bit of chat GPT just on these names because I thought they were funny. Team Grab Tech. That's the one that I came up with for who Val is competing for. And as you can tell by the name, Team Grab Tech is like cutting edge, you know, early aughts, science fiction-y almost level of like precision when it comes to skating. There's no love in this for Grab Tech and for what Val is doing. This is all about precision, victory, and rigidity. Okay. And
Ugh.
Val, yeah, right. Isn't it just gross to hear it? Even just hear it.
Skating for money.
Skating for money and skating for gold. And that's what Grab Tech's all about. And that's what Val's caught up in. All right. And Val is a contender with Grab Tech. They're good. They're good because all that science and all that corporateness, you know, turns out a pretty good product. So with these dynamics kind of established, we kick things off with our first kind of event in San Diego. And Brink has a good outing. He kind of wins the crowd over with his charisma, but he kind of does what Rick wants him to do. He kind of plays it safe and does a corporate run. And Val is a friggin' beast, right? He's Val. He does his thing. Precise. Val ends up winning the event. And Brink takes home silver, right? He gets the silver medal, finishes second. Rick's fired up, brand dominance. This is exactly what we needed. But as Brink starts to walk away, he looks and sees his crew that worked on, all of his ramps and all the stuff that he did. And there's a corporate stencil kind of being applied over his crew's work, like over the work that they had done. And it's kind of that first crack for him in this corporate world where he's like, I don't know if what I'm doing is for the right reasons and with the right people involved, but I have all season to figure this out because the next event is right around the corner and Val has got to go down. End of Act 1.
Listen,
Wow.
I'm all for beating Val. I can't stand
We
him.
all should be for beating Val.
Can't stand it. I want to throw a milkshake in his face.
Look,
Chocolate.
look, I don't like Val, but he was my first childhood crush, I gotta say. And my wife actually has his eyebrows. So
See, Val
it really
is
checks
out
out.
there. And listen, just hang in there because maybe there's hope for Val, right? Maybe there's a path back to the right
I
side
hope he
for
redeems
Val
himself.
Once a
in Brink
sellout,
2. We'll
always a
see.
sellout.
No, we're gonna see. We're gonna
People
find
change,
out. We're
Jordan.
gonna
People
find out.
change.
Yep, we're gonna find
I
out.
don't know. My heart
well,
can't take that.
Well, we're gonna find out, and after now we've heard two very compelling Act 1s. Janna, any thoughts? Any questions? Where are you at?
Yeah. So I have a really important question for you both, and that is, what's everybody's hair looking like in these sequels?
That's a good
Really,
question.
really good. That is important. Go ahead, Jordan.
I'll start. I'm gonna say Gabby is rocking the shortcut now. I'm gonna say Gabby switched it up.
Proud of Gabby.
gonna
Also, can I just say, go Gabby?
Yeah, go Gabby.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Brink's got some flow. I'm guessing. Brink's got some flow. Jordy, who was the chubbier dude with the long hair, Jordy, him and Peter are running Pupp N Suds, so they don't have to keep it super clean. I'm gonna say Jordy kept the flow, and I'm gonna say Peter keeps low buzz cut.
And the
My
butler?
reference point.
Say it again.
Yeah, the butler.
The
Please.
butler is bald for sure.
Yeah, no, that tracks.
The butler is an old bald white man.
I had to make sure.
He's bald.
Classic. I would say my reference point for my characters' haircuts would be to keep with the Disney theme. Would be Boy Meets World, but the college seasons of Boy Meets World. So we're thinking like, I mean, you said Brink's got flow, Jordan. Yeah, but like more of that like middle part to like flow situation that was going on. I could see like Jordy maybe throwing some like bleach tips potentially in the mix. We are in Southern California. It is the early mid-aughts. I can tell from experience.
Jordy to me, my Jordy has like the Bruce Jenner hair right before Bruce transitioned to Caitlyn, where it was super fucking long. You know what I'm saying? Like long ass hair down his back type shit.
Yeah, I think that's that. I like that.
That's how I'm picturing Jordy's hair.
I want the vibe to feel like the whole team has like grown up because they've gotten older, but they very much have retained their essence, and so their costume and everything about that reflects as such, right?
They're soul skaters, bro. Once you're a soul skater, you can't go back.
Always a soul
That's
skater.
exactly right.
Yep.
That's exactly right. All right. Well, Jordan, why don't you take us back into your reboot? Act 2.
All right. So we left off. Brink's butler came to the room, said, "Hey, you got to come downstairs. There's some people to meet you." So Act 2, Brink arrives downstairs, and there's this beautiful, elegant woman standing at his dining room table. This woman's name is Angie, and her and Brink used to be New York City's hottest couple. Now, Angie, unlike some of the other women that we typically see Brink with these days, isn't a supermodel, but instead she's a sports photographer. Her and Brink met at one of his skating events and instantly fell in love. They'd still be together today, but Angie one day kind of just suddenly decided that the A-list couple lifestyle was not the lifestyle that she was looking for. Now, sitting next to Angie is a young, teenage-ish girl. Angie tells Brink, "We gotta talk. Gotta have a little conversation." So her and Brink go into a separate room, and Angie reveals to Brink that the girl sitting at his dining room table is actually a girl named Tiffany, and Tiffany is his daughter. Angie decided to leave Brink when she realized she was pregnant ultimately because she didn't know that Brink was ready to be a father. But now Brink's no longer skating, and Tiffany just turned 13, and Angie feels it's time for Brink to get to know the truth. Now, Brink's obviously shocked. He's a little upset. He doesn't really know how to respond to this, but he goes into the dining room to meet his 13-year-old daughter, of whom he did not know existed just up until a few moments ago. Now, Tiffany's my favorite character. Tiffany's got a heart of gold. She can tell that Brink's a little uneasy, and she walks up to him and gives him a hug and just simply says, let's make up for lost time. So Angie, Tiffany, and Brink make plans to stay in touch, and then they go their separate ways. Now, Brink's got no idea what to do. He just woke up that morning and found out that he has a 13-year-old daughter. So he goes and calls Gabby and tells her the news. So Gabby comes by the house, and her and Brink have a real heart-to-heart. They have a real kind of bro moment. And, Brink's lost. He's got no idea what to do. He tells Gabby, look, I got no idea how to connect with this kid. I didn't even know she existed until a couple hours ago. And Gabby, in the best Gabby way possible, gives him the best advice she can give. And she tells him, look, teach her how to skate. If she's your daughter, spend some time with her. Teach her how to skate. Teach her what it means to do something for the joy of it. If she's truly Brink's daughter, she'll understand what it means to be a soul skater. Right? So Brink's got to get ready for this Netflix game. So what better time to get ready than to train with his daughter as he kind of gets to know her and teaches her how to skate. So later that day, Brink hops on the phone, calls Tiffany and asks her if she would want to spend some time with him at the skate park to learn how to skate. And Tiffany, full of excitement, says that she will be there. And that's the end of Act 2.
Wow.
Short act, but impactful.
Fatherhood. It's real.
Big,
it's really happening.
Big twist in Act 2.
Yeah, that was
Brink
big.
is a dad. He's a girl dad.
Brink is a girl dad.
Girl dad.
If we weren't in the future, we are now, baby. Let's go.
Right. That's right.
Awesome. I love it, Jordan. Building nicely. I'm gonna take the reins back. We're gonna head back to Brink 2, Soul Over Gold, and we were just starting to see that Brink was like not quite sure about this whole corporate thing at the end of Act 1, and that kind of gets escalated when Rick, his agent, announces a corporate partnership with Shock Rocks, which is kind of our classic Disney fake version of like Red Bull or some sort of sponsor that would exist. Yeah, Shock Rocks. Yeah, exactly. Something like that. And with Shock Rocks playing it by the script and making sure that everything's under control is even more important. And Brink hates that, but Rick says it's important, so he kind of goes along with it. And then we get a nice, again, classic Disney original channel style montage of tour life and Brink and the crew going through it and progressively starting to get a little bit more worn down. The cracks starting to form a little bit. Peter and Jordy and Gabby start to get offers from GravTech who say, hey, this is a more professional environment. We could do a little bit more for you guys. We could pay you a little bit more. We're just starting to see these things start to kind of crop up amongst the crew. So finally, at one of the tour stops, Brink has had enough, and he decides that he's going to pull a trick that's not on the script. He's going to go pull a 540 something or other, a cool, amazing move that's not expected. And Rick hates it. And there's a time in each run where Brink can pause for the camera and hit one line to the camera. And he likes to do his line, but Rick wants him to say the corporate line. And Brink says, the message should be skate with your friends. And Rick says the message is whatever we print on the can. And that's the dynamic that has emerged. So Brink pulling this trick does not go over well. And the worst part about it is on all these tour stops, Val just keeps winning. Val and Team GravTech are just good and they keep on winning and everyone is getting frustrated. And finally, after Brink goes off script, Rick blows up at him, they announce that Shock Rocks is going to present the Coliseum Clash, which is going to be Brink's chance to get back at Val in a big, massive one-on-one skate battle at the LA Coliseum, where they're going to be able to duke it out and finally determine who is the best and who has the most stoke. But the problem for Brink is that Shock Rocks is insisting on some ridiculous stuff. They're insisting on him skating in a cape. They're insisting on him doing a super cheesy corporate line during his moment to the camera. And Brink finally has had enough. And he blows up at Rick and he says, I do this for the love and the joy of skating, not for some corporate stooge. I'm not some sort of corporate stooge. And once he blows up, we hear Jordy say he's actually been considering the GravTech offer because it's a pretty good offer. And Peter is having some difficulty with the rent, so he's not sure what he's going to do. And so who steps up but the one and only Gabby, who says, enough. Everyone, meet me at this ditch, this drainage ditch at sundown, and we're going to do what we always do, which is skate together as soul skaters. And as they do it and they rediscover that pure love for this thing that they all do together, Brink makes his decision that at the Coliseum Clash, he's not going to skate Rick's run. He's not going to skate Shock Rocks' run. He's going to skate his run. End of Act 2.
We're going to do one of these days for Fries at the Bottom. We're going to do like a 10-minute video where we just rank the Disney character villains, and Val is going to be top 2 and he's not going to be 2. I hate Val.
Val, no, he's
hate him.
pretty up there.
He's hateable. He's hateable. He's very hateable. As is Team GravTech, by the way. They all have Val's energy, okay? Yeah, he's a douche, like he's a classic douche, which I think, Janna, to your point, that's kind of part of the appeal of him too, right? Is like, he's got bad boy energy, know? He's got a little edge to him, but he doesn't know how to rein it in all the time, Let's that get the best of him. All right, Janna, we're 2 acts in and we're building to some serious crescendos here. Suspense has been building. It's tense in here. I'm sweating, but I'm always sweating. Do you have any questions, any thoughts before we push into our big finales here?
Man, this is getting tough. It's getting tough. The cape is crazy, I gotta say, from Shock Rock. The cape,
right?
It's a safety hazard, straight up.
That's a safety hazard. It's a corporate overreach.
It's not right.
It's ridiculous. I agree with you.
Wow.
So did Brink, by the way.
Team Pupp N Suds would never have done that.
Team Pupp N Suds would never have done that.
Would never.
Correct.
Safety first, and teamwork. That is what they would say. No questions. I'm so excited to hear how this bad boy ends. I'm on the edge of my seat.
Love it.
Hit it, Beezy.
All right, we're gonna dive right into Act 3, and just like any good Disney movie, we gotta have a montage. So Act 3 begins with a montage of Brink doing what he does best, soul skating. But this time he's got a new partner with him, his daughter Tiffany. So we see the 2 of them bonding at skate parks all throughout New York City. Even Angie comes a couple times and watches as Brink has decided not to waste time being angry with Angie, but instead using his time to be happy with Tiffany. Now we notice at the end of each skating session, Tiffany changes clothes into a leotard before getting into the car with her mother. The montage ends with Brink walking Tiffany and Angie to their car as Tiffany heads to dance rehearsal. Before they leave, Angie mentions to Brink that Tiffany has become a great dancer and he should come out to see her perform someday. Now, Brink's response is, as soon as he's done with this next Netflix special, he will be there all the time to see his daughter dance. Now, we fast forward to the week of the Netflix special, and Jordy and Peter and their families have flown out to New York City, and it's time to get the original gang back together. So the group all goes over to Brink's penthouse that night for dinner, and Peter, Jordy, and Gabby are all hanging out, and they all want to know, how's it going with Tiffany? How's Brink enjoying fatherhood? Is he enjoying being a father to Tiffany? Are him and his daughter bonding? And we notice that everything that Brink says about Tiffany has to do with them skating together, but he doesn't really say anything about Tiffany, and he's not really getting to know her, right? She's getting to know him. They're spending a lot of good time bonding, and he's teaching her all about the glory days of him skating, but he's not really, he doesn't really have a good thumb on her interests. He's not really tapped in. And so finally, the day of the Netflix games comes up, and Brink gets a call from Angie. She wants to know if Brink plans on attending. I'm sorry, this is the day before the Netflix special. And she wants to know if Brink plans on attending Tiffany's dance recital, which happens to be at the same time as the skating event. Now, Brink knew nothing about this dance recital, and he realizes at that moment that he's been spending time with Tiffany, letting her get to know him, but he hasn't been trying to get to know her. Every day after they were done with skating, Tiffany would change into a leotard, and Brink would wish her good luck, but he never really took any interest into it. So the day of the competition comes up, and Brink walks out into the arena, and he sees in the crowd all of his friends that he grew up with in the stands. But there's no Angie and there's no Tiffany. His agent waves him over to do an interview right before it's his time to take his run. His agent tells him that he has been offered an additional $1 million if he announces that at the end of his run, he will be the official host for this event the following year. Now, Brink stops and he looks at his agent and he tells him that he's sorry, but he's got to go. There's no amount of money that can make up for the time that he's missed with his daughter, and Brink is going to bail on this event and he's going to go to the dance recital. So Brink and the gang all hop on the metro or the subway, I guess, in New York. Sorry, I'm living in DC now. And they head to Tiffany's recital right before it's her turn to perform. Tiffany comes out. She looks out into the crowd to see her mother, and she sees Brinks and the gang sitting there as well, and she flashes a big old smile. She goes on to kill her performance because you know why? Tiffany dances with soul, the same way her father used to skate. After the recital, Brink apologizes to his daughter for not taking an interest in what she's passionate about. He's missed out on a lot of time being a dad, and he's a little out of practice. Tiffany, the sweet girl that she is, hugs him, gives him a kiss on the cheek, says, "I love you," and says, "Soul skaters forever." End of the movie.
Yeah. Talk
Wow.
about tugging at the heartstrings. You got
Soul
me going
skaters.
over here.
God.
Soul skaters. God. Good.
I
Really
like.
nice, Jordan. Yeah, really good. Really good. All right, let me
Thank
go
you.
quickly
Gracias.
before Jen has too much time to appreciate how good that was. So we're back to Soul Over Gold, and we're in Act 3, and the Coliseum Clash is coming up. And we're about to see Val and Team GravTech taking on Brink and the Soul Skaters. And right before the event's going to start, we see Val kind of approach Brink backstage. And, we're kind of expecting him to be his normal douchey self. And he kind of is. He's trying to talk a little smack. But we see for the first time that Val isn't really happy. He's not really enjoying doing what he's doing for GravTech because, like Brink, he also misses the love and the joy of skating. And even he doesn't enjoy winning the way that he's winning with these guys. But he can't quite let it on fully. But we see just a little bit of that crack in this conversation with Brink. So then we get into the event. The event starts big, huge promo, LA Coliseum, fireworks, primetime TV, and Brink rocks up, no cape, and instead of his Shock Rocks jersey, he has turned it into a heart with tape. So he's here to do it his way, the Soul Skater way. And it starts with Val. Val goes first. He has his first run in their big showdown, and classic Val crushes it. Precise, ruthless, scores a 94 out of 100. Very, very good run. Brink has to respond, and Brink immediately starts doing things his own way. He's kind of loose with it. He's pulling tricks that only he can pull. He's way off script. He's getting the crowd fired up. He pulls a couple big tricks, and then he gets to his big moment, and he hits his line, "Skate with your friends," instead of the corporate nonsense that Rick wanted him to say. Finishes the run. Crowd goes crazy. The judges don't know what to do quite yet. Val doesn't know what's going on. He knows that his run was technically maybe better, but this run feels different. This has got everybody kind of behind him. So Val gets to go out. He gets to respond. He gets to go out and do another run. As Val pops out, he starts to do his thing again. He's being precise, but then he stops mid-run, right in the middle of the whole course. And what does he do? He rips the GravTech logo off of his helmet. He throws it down. He looks at Brink and he says, "You were right. We need to be doing this for the love." And instead of competing against each other, Brink enters the course and they start to skate a duet together, which is a joint line where they're not trying to beat each other. They're just doing it purely for the love. Instead of grinding the corporate rail, they go off to the side where the bleachers are and they do the little skate spot where only a real skater would know to go find. And once they've done this, what ends up happening? Gabby, Peter, Jordy, the GravTech squad, now everybody's out there and they're having a big group skate together. Rick, the corporate sponsor stooge, they're losing their mind. They don't know what to do because the event is kind of deteriorating, but it's happening for the best reason, which is that everybody's actually having fun together. The crowd is loving to see everybody kind of jiving together for the love of skating. So once this happens, finally everything kind of dies down, and Brink and Val are going to be interviewed alongside Rick, the agent, and the corporate shock rocks person. And Brink said, "We're done skating with your scripts. We're done doing things your way. We're doing it our way, the Soul Skater way," which means free clinics, gear for kids, and skating for the love. And Val right there joins him and says, "I've been wrong. These guys have had it right. Let's build something real together." And as the Shock Rocks corporate stooge tries to cut in and says something about standards and breach contracts and whatnot, the crowd, the group, everybody starts chanting soul, 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 and drowns them out as we fade to black. We then quickly fade back up for an epilogue where we see a sign that says Soul Line Collective, which is now kind of going back to the beginning of the movie where we saw them skating with kids doing community stuff. It's now really taken shape. We see like a helmet library where kids can rent helmets. We see the group teaching and skating with kids, having fun together. Val is there with them, whooping it up, having a good time, laughing, and kind of going to back what we said at the beginning. We get a sense of this real unity and friendship and fun that can come from scared love around something. And this group has managed to do that and reject the corporate and financial temptation that tugged at their love for what they do. But at the end of the day, soul skaters prevail, community prevails. Happy ending.
Bravo. Amen to the Soul Skaters. That was good, Dave.
Yeah.
Good ending there.
We did it. We did it. Well,
Janna,
now you're in you're in the hard position of needing to greenlight one of these reboots and putting the other one onto the cutting room floor. So the floor is yours. Any final thoughts and your decision?
Man, this is tough. It's a tough one. I'll say very different sequels, which I think made it even harder. I mean, David, you pop Val in there, Val is one of my favorite villains. I love to hate him. I just love to hate him, you know?
Yeah.
But then Jordan pops in with Tiffany, and we bring it back to the father-son moment that made Brink so special in the first place.
That was the goal. Have a little theme, theme there. Keep the theme going. And I hate Val. I'm not going to write a story that includes Val.
Jordan said Val is not a part of
Val's out.
Val is out.
Wow.
Very much out.
Once we threw that milkshake in his face, we never wanted to see Val.
That was the end of Val.
There was that one moment in the original movie where Val had a redeeming second in that last race.
That's what I was.
Second, where he thought about it, right?
Yeah.
He was like,
that's the Val that I ran with. Was that moment right there. That was a kernel of a good person in there. And it comes out and Brink too.
Dude, Val tried to kill Gabby.
Yeah, no,
he tried to kill her.
It's pretty not cool.
He threw rocks on the road.
Listen.
I mean, I will say Gabby was the VIP for both of these sequels also. Like,
he tried to kill my girl.
That was not a good scene.
Hasn't had a bad day and scattered rocks on the road for someone to potentially die on.
Sent my girl to the hospital.
We're getting sidetracked. Janna.
I'm avoiding making a decision here.
I know.
Honestly.
It's decision time because the studio is just breathing down your neck, and they're like, "We got to make a Brink sequel like yesterday. Which one are we gonna go with?"
I'm sorry if I break a heart tonight. But I gotta go with Jordan.
Wow.
I gotta go with Jordan. He pulled it back. Brink was able to learn about himself as a man. He changed his ways.
I thought
Tiffany
I
got
had you with Val.
Tiffany got me.
I thought
It was
Val
this
got you.
close. It was this close. I'm
I,
saying
I I got nervous. I thought your Act 3 with the group skate. I was like, shit, he might have got me right
no, it
there.
was good. And then you pulled it back into the community, and Val redeeming himself was close. It was close.
I liked your third act a lot. Your third act was really good.
No,
Tough.
it's fact.
It's tough, but it's fair because Jordan was really good. I get it. And it was, listen, a parenting moment. You know, hard to contend
hard to
with
beat.
that. And
It's
I
hard
think
to
you're right, Janna. For all the campy, fun, nostalgic memories of the original Brink, I do think you're right. I think that like father-son thing is actually the glue. You know, that's the real
That's
the real thing.
Yeah, when I rewatch it, that's what I get the most. It's a maturation movie, but to me, more than anything, it's a father-son movie.
Well, and I
Yeah.
think you tied it back in so well because, like, generally in the first movie, there was love, but a deep misunderstanding between
Yeah.
the parent and the child, right? And I think it's kind of a similar way, but where Brinks is tying it back to, I think, the relationship with his dad, where he was like, "Oh, but like I'm doing my thing. Like, why don't
Yeah.
you?
This dude doesn't
this is
understand
fine."
me.
And then I think it clicks for him, right? Like,
Mhm.
oh, it's not about me in this moment. And
I appreciate that you saw where I was trying. Those are the dots I was
saw
trying
it.
to connect. I appreciate that.
I felt it. But seriously, you both killed it.
No, that was yours, Dave. Yours was great. I really liked that
I
third
I
act.
focused more on the competitive skating element, and building the like narrative structure around like this idea that like the vibe of this kids movie and this kids activity is now carried into like
Yeah.
you know the next logical stage of that. But yeah, like you said, Janna, even though both sequels, two very different takes on it, I think, which is part of the fun of doing this is
Yeah.
kind of seeing how we go different ways with it and how it lands for people, which is the whole point.
And the other thing I was worried about with mine is mine doesn't really have a villain. I guess like Angie, his ex-girl, could kind of be a villain, but I decide to just not focus on that relationship that much. So there's not the discourse in the movie is him trying to figure out this relationship with this newfound daughter, but there's no villain in the movie.
Yeah.
Life and fatherhood are not the villain, but the struggle of the movie.
Exactly.
The thing that they're working against.
Yeah, for sure.
No, it was good stuff. Well, Janna, you're the greatest as always, and we appreciate you doing this. And even though my heart is broken,
I know.
I must congratulate my guy JB's for another victory. Does that make what's the record on the year now, Jordan?
I think we're 4-2.
4-2.
I think we're 4-2.
Oh, and you got balloons going.
Yeah, I got balloons.
Oh man, just a bang, just twist the knife. Twist the knife.
Wow.
No, but yeah, thank you, Janna. Congratulations,
Yes.
Jordan. This was a really fun one, a great rewatch, and a great time with you all.
I love it. Thank you so much for having me, all. Seriously, let me know if we reboot these because I'm trying to.
Heck yeah. Talk to your studio people, Janna.
That's
you know,
right.
see what our timeline is looking like here. Yeah,
I'm gonna hop
I got
on
some
the phone
connects
now.
at Disney. I'm gonna make the call.
I love it. I love it.
Love it. Well, yeah, Janna, thank you so much for hopping on with us. We appreciate it. It's great to see you. I haven't seen you in so long.
I know. It's awesome to see y'all.
The last time I remember seeing you physically was in the backyard of my mom's house.
Yeah.
Like 10 years ago.
Isn't that crazy?
Crazy.
A casual decade ago.
I know. Sometimes I forget I lived in Cleveland for a little bit.
And it was like 2:00 in the morning. We were just like hanging out in the backyard.
Yeah.
In the
dark.
I've done that.
Pitch black.
I've done that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that was vibes. That was vibes.
So
I love you both. You're literally
Love
the
you
best
too,
humans
Janna.
you're the
ever.
best. We appreciate
Right
you.
back at you. Yes.
All right. Well,
Okay.
everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate you tuning into another episode of Reboot. If you haven't already, hop on our YouTube page, check out our Patreon, check out our LinkedIn, check out all our shit, man. We got some cool shit on our page. Hop on there, tell a friend to tell a friend. Until next time, we're out of here. Peace out.
Yay, yay.